that Karl Anthony Towns is the key.
And then there are the Mavericks. So Dallas is actually the only team in tonight's 2 games to make the finals in the 2020s. But we all know what's transpired over the last 9 months to get the team to fall to 17th in title odds this season. Now, ESPN Analytics tells us that at this point in the year, the Mavs have a better chance, and again, it's early, but to repeat as the #1 overall pick in the 2026 draft than they do to make the playoffs. So, Shams, as the fallout from the Luka Doncic trade continues, how are the Dallas Mavericks planning on moving forward past this Nico Harrison era?
Malika, this franchise is moving away from Nico Harrison's 3 to 4 year championship window and toward trying to find sustained success and sustained growth around Cooper Flagg and youth. And to that end, sources have told ESPN that the Mavericks will be listening to trade calls for Anthony Davis and seeing and exploring his value. And for that, health will be the biggest key because not only for the Mavericks to evaluate Anthony Davis over a lengthy period of time, an extended period of time on the court, but for other teams that could have interest in him to see what he looks like when he's back, what this team looks like when he's back. A lot of evaluation to come around Anthony Davis the next couple of months.
What Shams just said could end up being one of the most important developments in the league this year. Here's why. Anthony Davis' value may not be as high as you think it is, because you talk to people around the league, they say, hey, he's going to turn 33 later this year. He's due a contract extension potentially next summer. That might scare some teams away. And the fact that it's just harder for teams to trade. But the reason that could be interesting is that might bring the contenders into this. Teams that may not have been able to trade for Anthony Davis a year ago may be able to trade for him this year. And that could change the balance of power, Coach, in the Eastern Conference.
Hey, first of all, welcome to the show, man.
Thank you.
It's great to be back working with you, and first team All-NBA hair right here.
That's
Coach, you're on my heels right now. I'm not gonna lie.
First team all handsome.
okay.
You talk about Dallas and you talk about Kyrie, you talk about AD and the injuries. If I'm Jason Kidd, right now my focus is on Cooper Flagg, right? So much has been made, the #1 pick in the draft. I think he has 5 straight games of 15 or more points as an 18-year-old. Let's not forget how young this kid is. So I can't worry about who's not available as a head coach. I have to focus on the task at hand, the guys I have at my disposal, and he is the future of this franchise. I don't know what's going to happen to Shams and Brian's point. I do know that Cooper Flagg's going to be there for many, many years, and we have to do everything we can to help that young man develop and nurture him along the way.
The Dallas Mavericks are a joke. They're a joke. They are, the most embarrassing organization in sports. They are, right now. They're the most embarrassing organization in sports. Dysfunctional at its finest when you look at what's going on in that organization. This used to be an organization that people used to want to run to. Now this has become an organization where people is running away from. And when you think about trading your international superstar, Rob Pelinka, trading away, a used Volvo to get back a Rolls Royce, and then all of a sudden you fire Nico Harrison, right? And then you come down and you look at this situation where they're talking about, possibly going away from Anthony Davis. What is really going on in Dallas? It's called lack of leadership. It's called embarrassment. It's called dysfunctional. And it's a damn shame because this organization has been one of the best organizations in the league in my eyes when it was ran under the proper ownership and ran by the proper front office.
Well, Coach, you just said Cooper Flagg's name. Sources just told me Cooper Flagg will miss his first game of his NBA career tonight against the New York Knicks. He's been feeling sick over the last 48 hours. We know he's been banged up as well. His thumb, his shoulder. He has averaged 17 points a game since moving to 4, but he will be out tonight.
When you
he's
feel
out
sick with all this going on, wouldn't you be sick?
Cooper Flagg's missing his first game here tonight. All right, Sean, NBA countdown. This is our crew for the 2025-26 season. We couldn't be more excited. Clearly, you can tell I lost my voice screaming about it. To watch hoops with you all year long. We have NBA champs Kendrick Perkins, head coach Michael Malone.
Championship head coach.
Our championship head coach and our champions of information and insight, our senior writer Brian Windhurst and our senior insider Shams Charania. Could not be more excited for this year with all of you. And we all know that the pursuit of championships, that is ultimately what this is all about. And we have seen an unprecedented 7 different teams win the title over the last 7 years. And if that number is going to get to 8, then there is a very good chance that a team in tonight's doubleheader right here on ESPN is going to make it happen. So let's get out and run, shall we? Starting with the Cavaliers. Donovan Mitchell having a career year, and Cleveland has the best odds in the East to win the title. Checking in on Cavs Corner. Why could this be the year?
Well, they play, when they're at their healthiest, which they're not yet, they're a top 10 offensive team and a top 10 defensive team. They have an offensive playmaker that can win them a game in the playoffs. And Donovan Mitchell, they have a defensive playmaker that can be a difference-making player in the playoffs in Evan Mobley. Do they have the toughness and the grit when it matters? That's the big question with this team. That and health will determine how far the Cavs go this year.
Donovan Mitchell will join us a little later in our show. Their opponent tonight, Kevin Durant and the Rockets. They aren't just 9-1 over their last 10 games. They're also in the top 5 in title odds. So, Coach, why are you excited about Houston?
Well, B. Windhorse over there talked about Cleveland. Well, Houston, they got the #1 offense, #5 defense. Alpi Şengün shown that he is a baby Jokic in the making, doing it all. Amen Thompson, first-team All-NBA defender last year. And why did they add Kevin Durant? They could not score in the first-round loss against Golden State last year. You add one of the best scorers in NBA history.
Your guy, Perk, Big Body Brunson and the Knicks. New York hasn't seen an NBA title in 50 years. Could the drought end?
Well, it can, but it's going to have to be with their big fella, Karl Anthony Towns, who I believe is the most important piece on this New York Knicks team. And if he's willing to get his feet hot defensively, consistently, especially in the Eastern Conference where they're loaded with bigs like Giannis Antetokounmpo, Jalen Duren, and guys like that. So I'm looking.
Donovan Mitchell has been balling this season, averaging just a hair under 31 points per game right now, which is good for 5th in the entire league. And he leads the Cavs as they have an early season test against a red-hot Rockets team. Now, I caught up with him before he arrived to the arena. Take a listen. We're now joined by 6-time All-Star Donovan Mitchell. Donovan, thank you so much for taking the time.
Well, I appreciate you having me. Thank you.
I appreciate you coming on the show because you are playing at a bananas level this season. You're averaging a career high in points per game, just under 31 here. Is this something where you came into the year maybe with a different focus and intention?
Yeah, I think obviously Max and DG go down, right? And you understand that there's going to be more expected out of you. I was already planning on taking another step in my game, but I think now even more so, it's like, okay, you know, those guys are out. More is expected of me. You got to go out there and kind of just set the tone. And I've always been a scorer. You know, now the biggest thing is being efficient in all facets of the game.
The Rockets, they're in Cleveland. They currently have the #1 ranked offense in the league. A lot of it is thanks to the addition of Kevin Durant. I've never played against KD. For those of us who have it, can you just describe what's it like going up against him?
I mean, yeah, he's an all-time great, right? He's a guy that can easily win you games, keep you in games, bring you back into games. You saw that against Orlando the other night. You know, he wasn't really shooting well and finally hit his first 3 with a few minutes to go. And the next thing you know, his next 3 shots were all dagger shots. And they got Şengün, who's playing phenomenally. Amen Thompson, who's a stud. They got a lot of talent, a lot of size. So when you go against a guy like KD with what he has around him, they're going to be a tough matchup, but we're ready and we're excited to go.
I think this is some of the best basketball that I have seen you play. And there's a good chance Amen Thompson is going to be guarding you at least at some point in this game. Can you describe that challenge?
I mean, yeah, he's athletic. He matches you in strength. Some of the things he does on the floor is just, you know, you haven't seen it from any athlete. Maybe like Vince Carter, right? But you know, I think for a guy like myself, just take what the defense gives me. Don't try to press. Just continue to be myself. Be who I am. And also, you got to respect your opponent. You got to respect the level of talent he is, but also be who I am myself.
Don, let's end here if we could. You've been a winning player for your entire career, whether it's in Utah, Cleveland. In fact, you have the best win percentage, for those who follow things like that, of any player in NBA history to never make a conference finals. When you hear something like that, what motivation does it give you to say, you know what, I can do it at any level. I'm going to get there?
Yeah, it's all work.